Round 19 had some really good scores, some really bad ones, but overall it was a good week. We scored 2,526, moved up 343 spots, and we moved closer to the top 1k. Whether we get there or not, I don't know, but it's a nice little ranking rise. So the team, like I said, a lot of really good scores, some pretty bad ones, a little bit of in between, but defense led was phenomenal, did it all. Doesn't really hit the scoreboard even though he's been playing pure mid, but he kicked a couple of important ones in the second half, so that really boosted his score. Stewart was just Stewart, a brick wall down back. Ridley was great. Lloyd, just treading water really. Not the ceiling that we paid up for at the start of the season, but he's still providing us with decent output. Short, not as good this week, but that's okay. And Whitfield came back and was absolutely fantastic. Midfield, Walsh got shut down and Carlton were just terrible. McRae is captain. It was between him or Oliver as my captain, and when Clary went absolutely nuts to start the game, I thought, am I really going to get another captain decision wrong this season? But McRae got going. A bit of a scare in the second quarter when they said he went to the bench to get his knee checked, but it was all good. 146 as captain, you love to see it, and in the end, really couldn't have gone wrong with either of them, just a 2-point difference. What we don't love to see is Petrarca getting 126 in Dream Team and 92 in SuperCoach. Just butchered it yet again. He's had a lot of games like this season, so that's disappointing. The bunt was huge, particularly in the fourth quarter. Kicked the clutch goal. Lions, like Petrarca, had a huge Dream Team SuperCoach differential. I think it was 36 points the difference. So he butchered the ball a ton, but he did enough to win himself back-to-back Q-Clash medals, so good for him. Neil had a rough game, and Brayshaw good. The Rucks, Grundy just racked up the clangers, and Gorn, good to see him get a 120 plus again. And the forward line, Danger was superb, particularly in the second quarter. We love that from Hall. Zeeble, that's fine, everyone has him. Degoe, his first score under a ton since I traded him in. Disappointing that he didn't do much after quarter time, but he's been a great pick for us so far. We got lucky with Finn McRae getting selected, so he covered Langford with a 52. That's okay. And that's more than what that man on the left did. Our trade in for Dusty, Shai Bolton, 42. Gee, that's awful. It just made so much sense for Bolton to get more mid-time with Dusty being out. He'd be more of a focal point in the team. It just made so much sense that it didn't happen at all. Bolton spent a lot of time up forward. Matt Parker got a lot of the mid-time. And in the end, he was pretty much nowhere to be found. So I really hope this is not how bad the selection will turn out. Still got another 4 games to play, but gee, it's not a good start in the team, that's for sure. But yeah, that was the round 19 team. Trades. Oh wait. So the round 20 team, Langford is on for Finn McRae. Should be back this week. Hopefully McRae can keep his spot for the sake of forward cover. Should have been Coleman Jones covering forward and ruck, but obviously he went down. Job security was probably on the ropes even before he went down because of how bad he was in that first half against Gold Coast. But anyway, this is the final team. Not perfect at all, but not too bad, I don't think. The biggest names we're missing: defense Mills, midfield Steele, Merritt's common, so him not doing so well was good for the side. Took Miller, Darcy Parish, Tom Mitchell's been great form. Forwards, Zorko, As for the players in our side that we really got to rely on, Petrarca I think is one of the most important in our side. Overall he's not a big pod, but in terms of the top teams he's not that common. So we really got to hope he magically stops butchering the heck out of the footy and he can put out more games like that Port one. The bottom three in our mids, Lyons, Neil, Brayshaw, they're all going to be important. I don't know what to expect from Neil anymore. Seems like there's a new injury report on him every week. And Brayshaw, it's not always going to be perfect when you trade in someone at budget price, particularly a premium in the mids. So he's been good for us to this point, but we'll need him to have a big final month. And the forward line, De Goey and Langford are probably the two most important. Bolton's pretty common now, I think, but he's still important in terms of I hope he doesn't hurt the side too much more with scores like this. But yeah, they're not the safest names to be relying on. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully these guys can have a big final 4 weeks to the season. Before we end off the video, I thought now that we're on no trades, why not reflect on all the trades we made throughout the season, the good, the bad, and what we can improve on for next season. The keys there on the left side if you want to know what all the colours mean. I think I took it off a Jock Reynolds spreadsheet or article many years ago, and I just stuck with it. But anyway, the first few weeks of correctional trades are just a reflection of a terrible starting side. Starting Cripps, Neil, especially Cripps, just terrible. Danger, getting suspended, bad luck. Trading out Bergman, awful. I kept Sharp and his DPP only became useful maybe 6 weeks after I traded Bergman. I could have gotten someone better than Brayshaw maybe if I kept Bergman, who knows. Either way it was a terrible trade. Daniel to Ridley. Yeah, trading Ridley at top price. It was looking like a disaster early on. He's back in form now, but it was not good the first few weeks. And that was probably the biggest reason why I had to go Brayshaw instead of a better mid. Because I spent a lot of that bank trading Daniel to Ridley. Berry to McRae, that was when I wanted to go, or at least I was extremely tempted to go Goulden to Walsh. And that hurt seeing Walsh absolutely kill it against Brisbane. He got a 130, I lost 90 odd points going Berry to McRae instead of Goulden to Walsh. And I remember that very well. Dunkley gets injured and it goes back to the correctional trades. I used 2 trades to bring in Dunkley and McRae. That's just wasting 2 trades on players I should have started. On the other hand, trading in Hall was a masterstroke really. Brought him in at 0.2% ownership, very much earlier than the majority, and it paid off in a big way. Obviously Rowe ended up going pretty well in the weeks after, but we brought in a player that I have no regrets bringing in. Trading out Highmore, definitely not the greatest move, especially after he got that ton. Langford delivered when we traded him in. Majority would have traded him in round 14 when he got that 74 against Hawthorn. We traded him in and he got a 120, so that was nice. It's been a little up and down since then. The injury hurts, but he did deliver when we brought him in. Like Hall, it was earlier than the majority, so that was nice. I think we'll judge the Neil trade in at the end of the season. I don't know what to make of it right now. Hasn't been great, to be honest. It was really good at first, the 150 against North, but then a bunch of injuries again, missed a game. Just seems like there's a new injury report on him every week. So we'll see in 4 weeks, but at the moment, probably should have gone with someone else. Danger brought in early. My intention was to bring him in when he dropped under 500k, but when Impy went down, he was the only one I wanted to bring in. Degoe was suspended that week. If he wasn't, I would have brought him in, but had to be Danger. Either way, it's worked out fine. Brought in Degoe the week after, 3 110 pluses, just the 80 this week, but been great so far. And Bolton, terrible this week, but hopefully he can put up some much better performances in the next 4 weeks. But yeah, a couple of howlers, but I think the majority of my bad trades would be from a bad starting side. So that's the most important thing for me next season. Really gotta nail that starting side. So that'll do it. I don't know how long the video will be. Hopefully it doesn't take up too much time. But hope you guys had a good week. Good luck to you all for round 20 and for the start of SuperCoach finals. And I'll see you guys in the next one.